Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to COD Zombies HQ. This is the first stream I've done in a very long time, and I am very excited to do it. In this video, or stream, depends on when you're watching, what we're going to be doing is going over my personal notes from talking with Jason Blundell and Craig Houston at the Black Ops 4 reveal event. Now, a quick disclaimer before we actually get into the meat of the stream today. I was flown out to the Black Ops 4 reveal event by Activision, so there's that out of the way. And also, remember guys, these are my impressions from talking to Jason and Craig throughout the event, not exact quotes. They were very adamant that the game is in active development, so anything I discuss here is not, confirmed. Things are subject to change. I want to say a quick hello to everybody in the chat right now. What's up, guys? What's up, Flirty Wingman? Happy birthday, brother. All right, let's get right into it. Starting off with what I think is the most exciting thing personally for me going into Black Ops 4, and that is the continuation of the premise storyline in some form. And that's because they confirmed to us that there will be 2 story branches within a Black Ops 4. I'm sure you've heard of that by now, but basically what they said is that it's going to be so different so that even the UI will be different between the 2 stories. You'll know what kind of map and what storyline you're following just by looking at the actual in-game menu. So that's something that's really exciting. Another thing is, well, okay, let me backtrack quick. I asked if the mob story, or specifically now it's going to be the Blood of the Dead story, if that'll continue in some way. I asked him, and he really didn't give me an answer, right? I wanted to see if there's going to be DLC beyond Blood of the Dead, continuing that ether, continuing that premise storyline. He didn't say anything either way, but I think he did say that both fans of both storylines will be happy. So I assume, and like we're all assuming, that perhaps there will be DLC continuing the premise storyline, though we can't be 100% sure. He didn't confirm anything as of yet. Okay, the next point here. They really didn't want to comment on the Seasons Pass or any kind of DLC model throughout the event while we were there. So that basically means, and the leaks that we covered a few days ago pretty much indicate that there will be some kind of different release or some kind of DLC model than we've seen in the past. So the rumor is that there will be a Zombies Seasons Pass. We don't really know what kind of content we'll get with that, if it's going to be maybe like one map every month with rotations between the new storyline and the premise storyline. I think that would be freaking awesome. Unfortunately, excuse me, that wasn't confirmed by Jason. Next thing, and I think this is something that'll interest a lot of you, Gobble Gums or something with similar effects are going to be returning in Black Ops 4 Zombies. The reason for that is it seemed like Jason Blundell seemed to personally confirm to Codename Pizza that Killing Time will return in some form or another. Again, we don't know if it's going to be Gobble Gums. We just know that something probably with similar effects are going to be happening in this game. We just quickly ban somebody. There we go. All right. Next up, this is the biggest Zombies dev team ever at Treyarch. I asked him, like, how are you guys actually giving us so much content? 3 maps at release. How are you guys doing this? And he said this is the biggest ever Zombies dev team. I think he said that this is actually the biggest development team at Treyarch is working on Zombies. So that is a really, really good sign for us, and it seems like that would indicate towards more content in the DLC season. Next up, and this isn't something that was confirmed. Jason kind of hinted at this, but nothing 100%, and that is possible character customization. Don't really know if what that's gonna be like, or even if it's going to be in the game, but he kind of hinted towards possible character customization. Maybe they're gonna do it with some relation to the loot boxes within Black Ops 4 Zombies. Not 100% sure. Next up, they wouldn't comment on theater mode. I asked them directly, we Zombies creators love theater mode. It makes, recording gameplay and going to past games so much easier. And Treyarch's the only studio that does theater mode anymore in Call of Duty. Is that going to be returning in Black Ops 4? They did not give us any kind of indication either way. So theater mode, cross your fingers, boys. We hope that will be returning, but we can't know right now 100%. Next up, the Titanic map. This is going to be cool because they said that they modeled the entire Titanic. Each deck of the Titanic is modeled in-game. They said it took a long time for them to do that. And as a result, the Titanic map is going to be fairly big. Jason did indicate, and as we would expect, that the map would be much more close quarters. So tight corridors, things like that. So that should be very interesting. This seems to be more like a more challenging map of the three that's going to be releasing. Tight close quarters, that definitely makes it much harder in the Zombies mode. Now, the second map that's going to be releasing about the new storyline, as you guys know, is called 9. And this map is going to be featuring a lot more open areas. It's going to be featuring, we assume, some kind of ancient Roman setting. Although, when I asked Jason, what about this ancient Rome map? Jason responded, "Are you sure that it's Rome?" So that creates a question, where is this map set? We don't 100% know. Jason wouldn't confirm that. They might do some kind of like ancient Egyptian thing, or maybe like an ancient Greek spin. So maybe not Rome. That's what I'm expecting though. Rome would be freaking awesome on 9. And the next thing that they brought this up as soon as we got into the Zombies roundtable. They noticed that everybody online was talking about how there wouldn't be any guns on the map 9 because in the trailer, no one from either side used any weapons in that trailer. As soon as we walked in, they were laughing like, oh, they think there'll be no guns on 9. There will be guns on 9, guys, so don't worry about that. Although it would have been interesting to see what a melee only kind of Zombies map would be like, but guns is probably for the better. Next up, they've got a lot more to show us. I don't want to use the exact phrasing they used, but let's just say they didn't show us everything they have to show us at this event. Jason, I believe, said that there's 5 more big events throughout the summer. We're assuming things like Gamescom, Comic-Con, E3, and I assume 2 other events that I'm missing here, where they're going to be giving us more Zombies info. So that's going to be good. Next up, Craig Houston, the lead writer for Zombies, believes that his script for Blood of the Dead is going to be his best ever. He's really excited about writing it, maybe not as excited about doing the new storyline, as we'll talk about later, but he's really confident in Blood of the Dead. He was saying that he's really excited to see the Primus voice actors again, talk with them. He said that Nolan North gave him a big hug when they went and recorded the dialogue for Blood of the Dead, which is really cool to see those guys back. I can't wait to play the Primus crew once again, and Craig Houston believes that we'll have a thoroughly enjoyable time doing that. Next up, and this is interesting, and this is something that we all thought about for a long time, but we didn't have any real confirmation of it, and that was we won't be seeing a regular Mob of the Dead remaster with the old Mob of the Dead crew. Due to licensing issues with the contracts and the actors, it gets really complicated, and so that's kind of a no-go zone as far as we understand right now. Next up, Mob is it's not a traditional remaster as you guys expect. It's a totally different map. It is a remake. I asked Jason directly, and I said to him, hey, is Blood of the Dead Mob of the Dead as it was originally intended, with the full island playable? And he responded with a classic Jason answer. He said, yes and no. So it pretty much confirms that there's going to be a lot more open areas in this map than there was in new areas than there were in prior kind of remasters like in Zombies Chronicles. But the no seems to indicate that this is different from his original vision of Mob of the Dead, and some of the old areas will be returning, so that's definitely good. Next up, a little bit of talk about the new universe, the new storyline. Jason said, and I confirmed this with Craig, that this is a new universe with no baggage of the old universe. Okay, so this is an entirely new storyline. There's a lot of people in the zombies community and the event that were saying, hey, maybe these two actual universes will tie together somehow, that we'll be seeing the bleeding in of the premise crew, or maybe like something else in the Ether universe into this new storyline. They didn't give us any indication that that would happen. This is supposed to be an entirely new universe. Next up, and Milo was very adamant to Jason, I can tell you firsthand, that he wasn't a fan of all of the ciphers in Revelations, and specifically the impossible to solve ciphers. We've only gotten a few on that map. If those hold really interesting story information, we just haven't got access to them yet. So hopefully that Jason seems to have gotten the message, and he said to us that there will be less ciphers in the maps for the new storyline than there were on maps like Revelations, that are going to be more classic radios and things like that, hopefully to make the story a little bit more accessible than it was in the premise storyline in Black Ops 3. This seemed to be like a really controversial idea when I was presenting this online on Reddit the other day, and I was talking to Jason about how he's going to prevent the leaking of cutscenes, and specifically dialogue of cutscenes in Black Ops 4. Is a big issue in Black Ops 3, as I'm sure you guys are aware. The dialogue, for the cutscene for Revelations was leaked months before the actual map came out. It was a big letdown to a lot of people that read that and wanted to know what happened but wasn't sure what it was. Anyways, he said that this is an issue they have to consider going into Black Ops 4. I was talking about possible ways to maybe get around that or encrypt it or something, that while they did say that they've made big advancements in hiding the actual game code and encrypting it, making sure there's not many plain text strings within the game files, the issue of cutscenes, and specifically subtitles for those cutscenes, persists. So he was humming and hawing about whether or not to add subtitles, because they can be found and leaked super easily, like we saw in Revelations. So that's definitely going to be an interesting decision-making process, what he decides to do. Hopefully it'll be the best of both worlds, so people that are hard of hearing can have cutscenes, and people that don't want anything leaked can have those files encrypted beforehand, so that we don't have to worry about ending cutscene dialogue leaked before, months before the maps come out. So that's a good thing. Next up, they were talking about the Collector's Edition. If you guys remember, the Collector's Edition for Black Ops 3, really popular. It was the Juggernog fridge. I believe Jason said that basically the Black Ops 4 equivalent of the Collector's Edition will be announced at Comic-Con or sometime around Comic-Con. So for anybody wanting to splurge on that, should be announced pretty soon. Next up, this is interesting. So Jason kind of hinted at maybe some possible bonuses or some kind of modifications to your character or abilities before you actually enter zombies, but there is no specific class setup. Now, in brackets I put here, this could be related to character customization that we talked about earlier, but there is no indication either way. He was very vague about these potential modifications or bonuses before entering the game, so I can't really confirm anything as of now. Alright, by the way, chat, if you guys are watching this live, I am going to be doing a little Q&A, answering your questions at the end once I get through this list, okay? Next up, something that a lot of people have been really looking forward to, and that is the ability to pick your character when playing solo, but your character is still randomized when playing co-op. So for people that play solo, they always like to be a certain character. You'll now have that ability in Black Ops 4, but if you're playing with other people, they wanted you to get a varied experience, experiencing other players, other characters' dialogue and things like that. So it will be randomized when you play co-op. Let me just adjust this. There we go. Alright, a realistic difficulty mode exists within the game, and Jason said that this is going to be very difficult. So, in a realistic difficulty mode in zombies, we can assume maybe it'll be insta-down if you get hit once. I've heard rumors that the realism mode could be related to the zombies themselves. That is, if you shoot them in the body, nothing will happen, but only they'll go down once you get a headshot. So, that'll be really interesting. Next up, Zombie Rush. You guys heard about this during the reveal itself. It's a new game mode that they're introducing with Black Ops 4 Zombies. From my impressions, it seemed to be kind of like a quicker mode for beginners, and then there's also more challenging kind of aspects of it where you can jump right in and get some zombie killing in without having the slow start of the regular survival zombies map. So Jason seemed to be kind of hesitant about this. This isn't like the biggest, new game mode that's gonna take over the zombies community. It's something else. It is a new game mode, but don't get too excited over this, is my impression of this game mode. However, guys, he did say that Black Ops 4 Zombies is open so that new game modes can be added in the future. I know a lot of people are talking about Grief. We're getting Mob of the Dead back in some form. Grief would be perfect for Black Ops 4. Perhaps it's something that they have yet to announce. I've heard some people say that they might even give us Grief as a pre-order bonus or a bonus for buying the Zombies Seasons Pass. That is yet to be determined, but the game is open, is designed to be open so that they can add new game modes in DLC down the road. Alright, if you guys play high rounds, and a lot of this was brought on by Chopper at the event, he said, man, I hate the round 255 round limit in zombies when playing high rounds. Will this be fixed in Black Ops 4 Zombies? And Jason did confirm that the cap is now exponentially higher in Black Ops 4 Zombies. So if you're one of those crazy people that just kill high rounds, getting to round 255 will no longer spell your end game. However, he did say that with higher rounds comes, more possibility for issues with the game in terms of memory limiting and things like that. So that still could be an issue. Next up, we briefly spoke about your level or rank that's going to be displayed, I assume, to other people within Black Ops 4 Zombies. And he said it doesn't seem like we're going back to an explicitly XP system. He said that your rank is going to be determined by a variety of factors in Zombies. So, not 100% sure what that means as of yet. We could assume maybe it'll be, your rank is determined based off of game time, maybe off of amount of kills, headshots, Easter egg completions, things like that. Not 100% sure, but it seems like it's going to be more complex than it was in a Black Ops 3. No word on prestiges or anything like that as of yet. And lastly, I did bring this idea up to him, and then it seemed like he was kind of like hearing it for the first time. And that's the idea of teasing new content by adding new stuffed old maps, like a new texture or new sound clip to Revelations or something like that. I brought that up as an idea of something they can do to hype up Black Ops 4. He seemed receptive to it, but it seemed like this is like the first time he was hearing this idea, so I doubt they've done that in the past. And hey, maybe we'll see something, but odds are we won't. So that's my overall impressions of Black Ops 4 in terms of everything I heard that you guys might not have heard from the reveal stream at the actual Black Ops 4 event by talking to Jason Blundell and Craig Houston. Briefly, I do want to bring it over to you guys in chat, ask a few questions away. There's a bunch more that I didn't really cover here that I might answer your question about Black Ops 4. I'll do my best. If you're enjoying the stream, definitely drop a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks for coming out on this Tuesday afternoon or evening, depending on where you're at in the world today. This was an awesome event to attend. It was my first ever really, reveal event or event related to Call of Duty Zombies I've ever been to. So it was awesome getting to meet Jason and a bunch of the other Zombies YouTubers at the event. They're really cool people. Jason and Craig specifically, super passionate about zombies, guys. I can tell that we are in good hands for Black Ops 4. Ready Player Z said, are they going to be focusing more on the new story? Will they abandon the old story? Yeah, this is interesting. So a lot of the emphasis at the event was on the new story. So I've got a feeling that they will be focusing heavily on this new story. But like we said at the beginning of this stream, there will be two different UIs within the game for both storylines, the new and the old. So while the emphasis is on the new storyline, that doesn't mean we won't be seeing some kind of continuation of the premise or Ether storyline. What's the symbol behind the tiny bird statues in 9? Not 100% sure of that as of yet. Was Jason's beard as majestic in person? Actually, Craig Houston made a joke about that. He's saying they were noticing comments about Jason's new beard, and he said, this is the late in the development beard. So yeah, I mean, he knows that people were asking about it, that's for sure. Greetings from Switzerland. What's up, dude? Do you think realistic mode will have friendly fire? That's actually a good point. Didn't think about that before. If it's realistic, you would think that friendly fire would be enabled. I wonder if that's actually a setting you can change in their modifications. I forgot exactly what they're calling it, but the different little tweaks and settings you can make for your zombies game. I would imagine friendly fire is something you can turn on. Do you know anything about the goal to Blood of the Dead? We don't know anything from Jason and Craig themselves, but there's been a lot of interesting theories about what the goal or the Easter egg in Blood of the Dead will be. Maybe I'll even make a video about that, but the leading theory right now is that what we're going to be doing in Blood of the Dead is disabling the security systems in Mob of the Dead that Richtofen initially set up that'll enable us to get access maybe like to a teleporter or something, where we'll find the Victus crew stored in cryo. So that's maybe the end goal. A lot of people were saying, I think this is an idea from Reed Austin, is that there will be, an ending cutscene. Our 4 Primus crew characters will be swift off to Gorod Krovi, and maybe then we'll continue playing the map as the Victus crew. So that's going to be really cool. PhD Flopper, no indication about perks as of yet. They didn't really describe to us whether perks are going to be returning in any specific form, or that if perks are going to be different compared to like Mob of the Dead or Blood of the Dead, excuse me, compared to the new storyline. If they're just going to get rid of perks entirely, don't 100% know. Do you think there will be a Pack-a-Punch? I assume there will be. We didn't get any specific actual confirmation of that, but I can assume that there will be a Pack-a-Punch. It seems pretty standard to Zombies gameplay at this point, right? Dead Ops Arcade 3. I don't think anybody asked about Dead Ops Arcade, but hey, it might be. Oh, we're Mr. Raffle Waffles and Blundell flirting. They get along fine, but Milo is grilling Blundell, man, about those ciphers, let me tell you. Did you stroke Jason's beard? Absolutely not. Afterlife, that's a good question. So Afterlife in Blood of the Dead, nothing was really given to us. I believe someone did ask about it. Jason was kind of hesitant about giving us an actual answer, so we don't 100% know whether Afterlife will be returning or not. What's this rumor about Nuketown Zombies coming back as a DLC? So there's an idea that Nuketown Zombies will be returning somehow. In terms of it being DLC, a lot of people are right now rumoring that maybe that's like the bonus map that's going to be added with the Zombies Seasons Pass, similar to how the Giant was for Black Ops 3 Seasons Pass. Nothing has been confirmed. Did you think there will be an Electric Cherry jingle? I think, yeah, Jason told, I believe it was Codename Pizza, about that jingle. We actually got to hear the beautiful, beautiful Quicker Vibe jingle live in person. Craig Houston belted it out in the room we were in. It was freaking awesome to the T, let me tell you. Monty, no mention of Monty, that's a good point. Will people be able to play it early as in YouTubers? I assume it's going to be the same as all past Call of Duty games. The game is boxed up much earlier than release date, so it can be sent to distributors. There's ways of getting the game early. Some people receive the game from Activision themselves early. Some people are able to get it via the black market, so some kind of underhanded means to play the game early. We saw what results that can have in World War II, where the main Easter egg for the first map was solved before the North American release date. That sucks, but that's kind of how it works. Alright. Is Blood oh, that's a good point. Is Blood of the Dead before or after Mob? So the idea of where Blood of the Dead is set or when in the Zombies storyline is debated at this point. Although, maybe I didn't cover this. Yeah, I didn't earlier in the game, earlier in the stream here. Mob was always planned to be for Black Ops 4. Jason told us specifically that, you know, when they were making Zetsubo no Shima, specifically that ending cutscene, they were a little bit hesitant because they knew they wouldn't be showing us anything about Primus's trip to Mob of the Dead. Okay? So they knew that they were going to make this map for Black Ops 4 and not Black Ops 3. That leads me to believe that Blood of the Dead will be set between Zetsubo and Gorod Krovi, but we don't have any indication either way as of yet. But Mob that they said was always intended to be for Black Ops 4 and not for Black Ops 3. Will the transit bus or any other zombies things going to be in Blackout? As you guys know, the characters are available in Blackout. I kind of jokingly asked Craig Houston whether the zombies in the Blackout is canon, and I don't remember his answer, but it'll be neat playing as zombies characters and kind of other assets within Blackout. Are Gobble Gums returning? There's going to be at least what we think something related to Gobble Gums. We don't know if they're going to be called Gobble Gums. We don't know what kind of specific effects that they'll have besides killing time being confirmed for the game in some way. Isn't Dr. Monty the creator of all the universe or what? It gets complicated, that's for sure. And that's part of the reason why Craig Houston was so excited about starting a new storyline. All that baggage, didn't have to worry about it. So, COD Zombies HQ, do you think that there will be a hidden Easter egg song or remix of the Titanic song Celine Dion? I'm not sure. I mean, a lot of people were joking that there's going to be some kind of Titanic Easter egg within that map. There's got to be, right? But no indication about what that will be or what form it'll take as of yet. Are the new characters in Zombies in Blackout? That's a good question. They only seem to confirm the Primus crew for Blackout, but we can assume that the new characters for the new story will also be in COD BR as well. Yes, Jason said to Mr. Waffle Waffles that the blood vials in the trailer are full, so it's probably after Revelations. True, but I think I remember in Revelations, Richtofen drank one of his blood vials, right? So I'm not exactly sure how that would be after, although there is theories about that. How many maps per DLC? Colin, no real indication about DLC as of yet. They were very hesitant to talk about their DLC plans. We are assuming that it'll be bigger and better than ever if there is indeed a Zombies Seasons Pass. And with them having the largest ever Zombies dev team, we're going to get a lot of content, but no real indication of what that's going to be as of yet. What's your most hype map, COD Zombies HQ? It's got to be Blood of the Dead. I mean, while the new story is great, part of me feels like we've been getting new stories for 2 years now with IW and World War II. It'll be nice to go back to something vaguely familiar. COD Zombies HQ, will there be a main Easter egg in Blood of the Dead? We definitely assume there will be. There will be main Easter eggs on all 3 of the maps that are going to be releasing day 1. Obviously, we don't know what form they'll take yet, but we assume, yes, there will be a main Easter egg on Blood of the Dead. That will be different from the main Easter egg of Mob. Jason said that Where Are We Going? The Mob of the Dead Easter egg song has been remastered. It indeed is. I've heard it. I can't play it for you, nor do I have it stored anywhere, but it sounds really cool. Do you think Victus will be playable in Black Ops 4 after Blood of the Dead? Probably. I mean, I don't see where else they can go with Primus specifically unless they take us on some grand adventure. I heard JC Backfire saying some grand adventure collecting the Victus crew from various areas for some kind of grand finale, but maybe they'll be back at the end of the Blood of the Dead Easter egg or something like that. COD Zombies HQ and Blackout, I want to play as a Margwa. Dude, could you imagine like some extra power up in Blackout to get you to play as like some kind of zombies boss, or like this Shadow Man, you're able to float and like knock people down with beams? That'll be interesting for sure. COD Zombies HQ, is there anything about DLC or digital deluxe for pre-orders? Is Blood of the Dead only available for disc? Okay, so we assume Blood of the Dead is available with all other the 2 maps releasing on day 1 in all versions of the game. Okay, so Blood of the Dead is not related to the Zombies Seasons Pass or anything like that. Everybody will get access to these 3 maps at launch. Don't worry about that. In terms of a digital deluxe, the collector's edition of the game will be announced, we assume, at Comic-Con. But the digital deluxe, we assume, will have like a Zombies Seasons Pass included once they talk more about their DLC plans. COD Zombies HQ, will the Easter egg be the same in Blood of the Dead as it was in Mob of the Dead? We assume it'll be different. It'll be totally different with a different end goal in mind. Do you think the Blundergat and Brutus are returning? Good question. Don't have any indication of that either way. Do you think the Voyage of Despair would be Call of the Dead version 2.0? I assume that's what you mean. Good question. Not really sure about that. What is the statue on Voyage of Despair? No indication about that, unfortunately. I assume it'll tie in with the lore of the map. So what do you make of the voice actress from Misty updating her bio recently? Do you think we'll get a Victus crew later? I assume we'll be seeing Victus in some form in Black Ops 4. We don't know which form that will be yet. Hell's Retriever, no indication of that either way. COD Zombies HQ, is there anything about a potential Seasons Pass? They weren't talking about the Seasons Pass as of yet. Some recent leaks have stated that there will be a Zombies only Seasons Pass. We don't 100% know. Will the old perks be returning? I don't believe they spoke about perks at all during our talks, so we're not 100%. I'm not 100% sure, but I assume they will be. Is Perkaholic returning? Good question. They knew it was powerful in Black Ops 3. We'll see if it returns. If I already pre-ordered, can I buy the Seasons Pass edition or the price difference? I assume you'll have to buy a different version if you want the Zombies Seasons Pass bundled. COD Zombies HQ, how long do you think it'll take for the Zombies community to complete all the Easter eggs? That's a good question. A lot of people were discussing what order they want to play the maps, right? So whether you want to play Blood of the Dead first or the new maps. How long they'll take to complete, no one really knows. It'll be interesting with there being more than one map, more than one Easter egg, how everybody will coordinate that, which map will get the most focus, right? So it'll be cool. And here's hoping again that all of them don't get solved before the North American release, like happened to World War II Zombies. Unique guns, just like in Black Ops 2. We assume there will be. If you guys remember the Voyage of Despair trailer, excuse me, there was some kind of little magnum or pistol that wasn't, we assume, in the multiplayer. At least I didn't see it in the multiplayer when I played it. Will Gobble Gums be returning? In some form. We don't know if they're called Gobble Gums, but something with similar effects to Gobble Gums, we assume, will be in the game. Could custom maps be coming to console? There's no discussion about mod tools for Black Ops 4 as of yet. That would be cool. That would be awesome, but they aren't talking about that as of yet. So, do you believe that Zombies in Black Ops 4 will follow the same type of Easter egg layout like in Black Ops 3, where you had to complete all the Easter eggs in order to get a big or super Easter egg? Here's hoping. I think it's definitely a cool layout that was confirmed with Mephistopheles and the Director's Cut edition within Infinite Warfare. People think that kind of salvaged that Zombies game for a lot of people, so I think it would fit perfectly within Black Ops 4 in some fashion, but that means to be seen. Like, we don't know what their plans are. Do you think that the blue smoke grenade will be an Easter egg in Voyage of Despair? I think it was a green like liquid or something like that that the doctor threw. I'm not sure whether it was green or not. Do you respect the change from graphic horror style graphics and gameplay World War II to a toned down cartoon style as in IW and Black Ops 3? Yes, I think it's better in more of a cartoon style. Actually, let me backtrack. I think both have their merits. But specifically in Black Ops 3, I think it did it much better than IW did it. I think these stories have to be presenting themselves as serious or in order to be perceived as serious. Black Ops 3 did that really well. Almost kind of overdid it in World War II, but that's a whole other discussion on its own. I think it's a good change. Do you think we'll get some new perks sometime in Black Ops 4? Undoubtedly. I mean, there's no way they're going to come at us with the same old perks in Black Ops 4. Yes, we got only one new one in Black Ops 3. They're definitely going to up it now with there being more maps in Black Ops 4. Would you like to see an explanation of Ultimus After Moon? Sure, man. I don't see who wouldn't. Do you think Treyarch will update Blackout so that the new zombies? Sorry, I missed that question. Will they continue the storyline of the Primus crew? Good question. Basically, they confirmed to us that there will be 2 story branches within the game's UI. One for the new maps, the new story, and one for the old story maps, of which we only know that there will be Blood of the Dead so far. So I asked him about whether Blood of the Dead will have a sequel or some kind of continuation, but he really wasn't talking about that, besides it being saying both fans of both stories will be happy, we assume, with their DLC offerings. Do you think we'll get perk machines in the new storyline with jingles and all? I hope so, man. Craig Houston was really loving the jingles in past maps, so I mean that's like a classic kind of aspect of zombies, right? Specifically Treyarch zombies. So here's hoping. No official confirmation as of yet. I've heard rumors of a 4th map at launch with Seasons Pass. That is definitely a rumor. Some are saying that'll be a Nuketown remastered in zombies or something like that. No indication about that. They weren't talking about a 4th map or a DLC offering, but that'll remain to be seen. They got a lot more events planned throughout the summer. If it exists, they'll announce it then. Is the zombies customization going to be like World War II, where perma perks are a thing? We got some indication that there will be some kind of bonuses entering the game, but I also confirmed that there will be no classes, so there'll be no classes in Black Ops 4. We don't know whether that'll be, related to character customization some way, but we assume that there'll be some kind of gameplay aspect that we aren't totally privy to yet that relates to having some kind of perks entering the zombies game, but we'll have to wait and see. What would you think of them adding mini Easter eggs in multiplayer as they did in Black Ops 3? In terms of multiplayer Easter eggs, I think it's awesome for that community. I mean, a lot of people were kind of disappointed with how similar the multiplayer looked in Black Ops 4, but I really enjoyed my time playing with it. I know they did a similar Easter egg in Nuketown in the past, so that's only a good thing, right? I bet that the 4th map will be Dead Ops Arcade. They didn't talk to us about Dead Ops Arcade, but that's definitely a possibility. Do you think that in Blood of the Dead their eyes will be red? That's a good question. Haven't seen anything either way as of yet. So, did they mention anything about a boss being on Voyage of Despair? And did they mention how to kill the boss on 9? No talk specific about bosses, but I believe they did say that they will never show a final boss in a trailer. Okay, so we assume we can interpret that to mean that huge zombies we saw on 9 won't be the final boss. Okay, so we assume there'll be something else, or maybe there even won't be a boss fight. Not exactly sure how that's gonna work yet. Did you see Queen's video about Nero and Bruno being related? They're wearing the same ring. I didn't see that specifically. There was a lot of rumors about the name on the safe, which was Herschel's, being the same as listed, I believe, on a shop in Shadows of Evil. We asked Craig Houston about that, and he confirmed to us that that's kind of like an inside Treyarch joke. It's not related to those 2 storylines being interconnected. That's just an inside joke. So, no indication that the 2 storylines are connected in any way as of yet. In Blackout, we'll be able to customize our weapons. Not sure, they didn't really give us much information about Blackout at this event, but I can assume that weapon customization will be part of the game in some fashion. Do you think that was the mystery box in Voyage of Despair? It sure as heck looked like a mystery box, didn't it? And it looked freaking awesome. Do you think 5 will be remastered? I asked him about the origins. I asked Blundell about the origins of 5 at the event, and he told me that you know, that the Pentagon mission in Black Ops was originally supposed to be have much more interactivity. You're supposed to like focus on various objects, but they couldn't really get it to work. So they just threw all those assets into basically like a cutscene mission for the campaign and remade it into a zombies map. I told him how much a lot of people really like 5, but no indication that it's going to be remastered as of yet. So it would be cool, but no information. Sorry, man. With the new customization options, will we be able to play in the new map with the old crew? Good question. I don't think so. I don't know, no information on this. They didn't tell us anything about this, but I can imagine them keeping the crews the same and locked into their own storyline branches. If you start allowing the premise crew into the new maps, things will just get much more confusing than they have to be. No confirmation either way, but I don't see them doing that. Will we be able to play zombies in beta? I don't think so. I think it's just going to be a multiplayer beta. That's what they announced. So I don't think we'll be able to play zombies until the game actually comes out. For mini Easter eggs in multiplayer meant like zombie references. Oh yeah, that would be cool, man. To kind of interconnect those universes even more. I think that's awesome. Hopefully they do that again. Do you think Dadfire will be the voice of Electric Cherry that JC posted on his channel? I believe there was an Electric Cherry theme that was written and ready to go, just was never added into the game for some reason. Is there going to be a numerical ranking system? Good question. If we just scroll down to the bottom here, I asked him about ranking, or somebody else did, and he basically said that rank or your level is going to be determined by a variety of factors, not just XP in Black Ops 4. So it remains to be seen how they do it, but I assume we don't know what form it'll take, besides that it'll collect in a variety of data points to determine your level. Any details on the new rush mode? Basically, it's going to be a mode that you can hop into some zombie killing right away, easy to get into for new players, challenging for veterans like us. In terms of how excited we should be for it, it's not like the miracle new mode that's going to replace survival or anything like that, but it's a new mode nonetheless. The game is open-ended, so that Treyarch can add new DLC in the future, so that's awesome. What if Nikolai has a quote in Blood of the Dead like Arlington, Arlington, Arlington? Why do I keep hearing that name? That'll be nice, wouldn't it? Will Grief and Turned come back? No indication about Grief and Turned as of yet. I hope they come back in some fashion. Like I said, the game is open so that new game modes can be added in the future. Maybe they're already planning for it. Like I said, they just haven't announced it yet, but no indication of that as of yet. Did they mention any other zombies mutations, like zombie speed, player damage, anything new? In terms of like weapons in the mystery box, I believe they confirmed that. They think they confirmed if you want to start a round at a certain level. A lot of people were asking whether they'll have like a classic mode where there'll be no Gobble Gums or Gobble Gum equivalent, where it'll just be like standard old style Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1 World at War zombies. I assume there'll be some kind of limiter that you can add there, but that hasn't been confirmed, unfortunately. Do you think there will be 2 zombies map per DLC pack for both storylines, the new and the old? Good question. I hope so. I mean, they sure have the biggest zombies team ever working on zombies at Treyarch. They can, I think they might be able to support that, but I have a feeling it might take on a different model. Maybe we'll be seeing a new zombies map every month and a half or something like that to rotate between the new storyline and the old. I think that'll be really cool. Alright guys, a couple more questions, then I'm going to wrap this up. So, do you think there will be a Zombies Chronicles 2 with even more maps remastered? Well, they're running out of maps to remaster. Like I said, there's going to be contract issues with Call of the Dead and Mob of the Dead Standard because of the actors specifically not being related to Treyarch, and there's something with their celebrity that's going to be an issue there. So there's maps that they can remaster. It's definitely, the list is much smaller. I don't know, I'd love to see it eventually. Like they said, this game's supposed to have a very long lifespan, so is the new crew from a universe that has been a closed off premise. So there's no indication that there is kind of any relation between the two universes as of yet. But that could be a thing that could be revealed later. All right, last question. Do you think a new enemy type related to the Hellhounds will be in one of the map? I'd love to see that. Hellhounds were a staple in some of the maps in Black Ops 3. I'd like to see some kind of modifications. Maybe there'll be some kind of type of, like a sprinting Hellhound, a Hellhound with more damage or something like that to differentiate it from Black Ops 3 Zombies. Guys, that wraps up this stream today. I want to thank you very much for tuning in. Be sure to hit that thumbs up button before you head out. If you haven't subscribed yet, consider doing that now. I want to thank you for coming out once again. Black Ops 4 is looking to be an awesome experience. I can't wait to cover it as news continues to trickle out throughout the year as we get closer and closer to release. Hopefully I helped answer a few questions from my impressions of talking with Jason and Craig at the event. I want to thank you again for watching, and I'll see you guys with a new video, I assume maybe tomorrow, talking about some cut revelation content we heard from Jason and Craig. I'll leave you with that, guys. Have a great Tuesday evening. Peace out.